Welcome. I'm here with an interview with Chris Gould, who is the winner of the Best Construction Blog Competition for 2013. His blog overcame a competition of about 30 competitors through a combination of popular vote and judge vote. So this conversation will give me as an opportunity to learn a bit about how he managed to create such a successful blog and give some insights into best practices should you wish to do your own blog. Also, I'd like to learn from Chris a little bit about his own business and how the blog, if it has been, and how it has been helpful for his business. So start off, Chris, describe your business and your background.
I own an engineering company. We specialize in engineered components, trusses, beams, joists. I started off working as a kid. My father's been in the business almost 40 years. I started working in the shop when I was just barely double digits, and just grew from there. I got into management in my early 20s in a different field, and I came back into this industry in my mid-20s. Had a lot of success. I grew up in South Florida. I still live in Florida, actually, in Jacksonville now.
Okay.
But it's a very unique market in Florida with the wind loads and all the changes that happen. Everything that's new in the building industry in the United States starts in Florida, with the exception of snow.
Okay.
So I had the privilege of learning a lot of different things very quickly, and I had the honor of working with some very, very qualified people. And I became design manager, and I don't know, I got a hankling to start my own business, and I've been in business for myself since 2006, providing engineered services for mostly component manufacturers, but my company, we believe in paying it forward. And for those of you that aren't familiar with what that means, it's the concept of helping others with no expectation. This is what our business model is about. And we started off only designing trusses and engineered wood, and now we're partnered with architects, engineers, so forth and so on. We're working on a business model now to focus on building information modeling and design in the cloud. So at present, my company can do anything from the above the foundation. We can seal it, design it, whether it's the plans, the components, or the building itself.
Can you give me an idea of the scale of the business, in number of employees, volume, anything you feel comfortable sharing?
We have right now, I don't know, somewhere around 24 people. Right around 20 to 24, I'd have to pull a count. We have an extensive professional development program, and we have people constantly going in and out of it based on their ability to train and learn and adapt. All of our people work from their own location. My central location here, I'm the only one in it, besides my wife.
Okay.
I've got another centralized office in Cocoa where my professional development manager houses different people. Right now he's got 4 people working in his office. And what we do is we recruit professionals from the industry. We have an extensive testing process that relates of math skills, engineering skills, so forth and so on. So many people out there are, shall we say, insincere on the resume. And, once they get in front of my customer, then it's my problem. My reputation's on the line. So outside of that, we're partnered with MyTech International and MyTech USA, MyTech Canada, several architects, engineers, and other industry resources to help grow the industry. It could be a civil engineer, electrical engineer, structural, even people that will go in and overhaul our customer's business. I like to say that my other industry partner, whose name is Todd Drummond, he overhauls their production facility, I overhaul their design facility. So by the time he leaves, he's outlined ways for them to double their volume or double their profit. By the time I leave, I've outlined ways for them to double or triple their profit. inside. So it's a very unique market that we're in. It's a very niche industry. There's only a couple of companies in the world that are doing what we're doing.
Okay.
But I'm happy to tell you that I'm the only one in the world that's an American employing Americans.
All right. Now, let's take us to the blog. How did you get that started and what happened?
Well, I'm going to be completely honest with you. When somebody first told me I needed a blog, I didn't even know what it was.
When was that?
I am serious. I did not know what it was, and my 9-year-old son taught me about blogging.
I see.
Okay, so
what year was that?
that was 2011.
Okay. Carry on. That's not long ago. Carry on.
No, it's not. I learned from a 9-year-old child how to blog.
Okay.
My son, he's fairly intelligent. He's a member of Mensa.
Okay.
But my understanding of it was just an online dialogue. I never in my life imagined the power of how much value that you can share with the blog. Mm-hmm. If you go back and look at our blog at the beginning, it was just paragraphs, and as it's evolved, now it's a story. What we try to do on our blog, our mission is to provide value, is to give somebody an idea for nothing. All they got to do is spend 5 minutes reading the post, and try to take away the value that we've tried to give away. And now, I've been criticized strongly in the industry for giving away quote unquote trade secrets. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I've come under some heavy fire for some of the things that I've shared on the blog.
Could you give me an example?
What's that?
Could you give me an example?
An example would be a building method that's adopted in one area mm-hmm. that should be in another area, but hasn't been accepted yet. See, you have to realize I do work all over North America, in the United States and Canada, so right. I see what works, I see what doesn't work, and there's customers that are, in different counties doing it different. They're mm-hmm. right next door to each other.
Right.
But and trying to educate my customer. I mean, my job as a business owner, and when I get on a sales call, is to educate my customer. They've tried using a service like mine before that isn't in their office, and they've done so unsuccessfly for two reasons. One, because the person that they tried to use didn't have any integrity. Mm-hmm. And two, because that person wasn't licensed or insured. And the first sign of trouble, that person would disappear, and you'd never hear from him again. So, much like the guy that drinks out a cup of milk that's rotten, he doesn't want to try it the second time because he thinks that's what it tastes like every time.
So you started this blog, it sounds like about 2 years ago, or less than 2 years ago. What happened?
Okay, well, believe it or not, I started the blog under WordPress.com, okay, and GouldDesignInc.WordPress.com, and then I purchased the one that doesn't have the WordPress in the URL.
Right.
Before I could switch it over, our company was nominated for Best Blog of 2012. Okay. Okay. And I've never switched it over because I didn't want to lose the subscribers in the database. I still have the service, but what happened was I used my resources, Mark. I'm not a guy that believes in doing everything myself, so I asked my team members to begin contributing and writing in their own words, and I started getting outsiders, I say outsiders, but guest bloggers, people that weren't part of Gould Design Inc. I encouraged them to begin writing, and we got more exposure, and last year we finished third.
Right. How has the blog actually affected your business? Have you traced business results in any way from your blog? And if so, could you share with us what they are?
Absolutely. The exposure alone has netted me numerous opportunities. Okay, I got people from different countries, Australia, the United Kingdom, mm-hmm. the reach over the sea, I guess, would be the immediate benefit to the exposure. And okay, here's a guy that has a vision, that's using it and doing it right. This is something that some of these people have been thought about for years, but have never been successful with it. So the immediate impact would be, yes, it can work. As far as revenue generation, it hasn't been, I mean, we're only a month away from, or a month past winning the blog, so it hasn't really netted a lot of dollars yet, but it has netted a lot of respect.
So, and that's fair because that's part of marketing, but you have not tracked, let's say, a lead that came to you from the blog or leads that have come through the blog that have converted into business directly? Or
I have, but I have not. I don't have it in a formal format to give you any solid numbers right now. My business relations manager is responsible for that.
Fair enough.
It's not available right now.
What would you say is the biggest lesson you've learned or you would like to share with someone who is anticipating setting up or starting a blog or maybe doing one?
For me, it's keep an open mind. It's, about, I'd say 20 to 30% of the blog posts that we put on the blog have something to do with our industry. The other 70 to 80% have to do with being a better person or shining some light into the world of humanity. My other big thing would be, you never know who's reading it. If you're sounding off or whining or being negative, then you're defeating the purpose. And the third thing would be never ever promote. If you read my blog, I've never ever promoted anything. Mm-hmm. It's all been about providing value. It's kind of like a magnet, If you're providing value to someone, you don't need to promote. They're going to seek you out. You don't need to advertise and market. And believe it or not, Mark, our business strategy has nothing to do with marketing. It's totally about attraction and not promotion. When I'm able to tell my customer or my potential customer that my company is partnered with a company that's owned by Warren Buffett, it gets their attention. And we don't have any funding from them. We don't have anything other than the ability to say that and mean it. However, it changes someone's perspective. And I think for a new blogger or someone who's getting into the world of blogging, the very, very first thing you need is a house style guide so that you can send it to someone else so that they have a parameter of dialogue to follow based on your criteria for your company. If not, at least have a cheat sheet.
Do you have something like that you would mind sharing with others?
Do I have what?
Would you have would you be willing to share your house style guide with others, or is it rightfully might be an internal document? I respect that.
No, I'd be willing to share it. I subscribe to HubSpot.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone's familiar with that. That's a lead nurturing source.
Right.
And they provide a lot of free resources, one of which is a generic house style guide, which we mirrored ours off of. Not precisely, but mm-hmm. it's very similar. And I've used a lot of the information generated from HubSpot to help me with blogging and learn about the world of marketing. I'm not a salesperson. Right. As I just said, we don't focus on marketing. We focus on providing value and sharing value for little or no cost.
Could you share with me any problems or challenges you've had with your blog and how you overcame them?
The biggest challenge is keeping up with the responses and finding topics that someone else hasn't already touched on. And in my industry, it's not that difficult because it's such a niche industry. But for other industries, I'm speaking about others now. There's so many industries out there that have companies have similar business models. So I would see that as being the biggest challenge for some companies, is just finding new relevant content.
Have you?
For us, we're really on the cusp of some changes in the building industry. So with our approach, it's all about education and trying to convince or enlighten someone on why they should consider doing it some other way. I mean, Albert Einstein, and the definition of insanity comes to mind.
Could you tell me, do you have stats on your viewership or readership and how it's been progressing?
I'd have to look, but we get somewhere around, 90 to 100 hits a day.
Mm-hmm.
That went up significantly with the blog contest.
Okay.
As it came winding down, so kudos to you.
Okay.
For having a grand idea and a grand vision. But really, our blog is linked to our Facebook, our LinkedIn, our Google, what do they call it? I can't remember now.
Twitter?
Google.
Twitter?
What is it?
Twitter?
Twitter also.
Yeah.
There's Google Circles.
That's Google Plus.
Google Plus.
Yes. Yeah.
So when we post something on there, it's getting posted to all of those locales, and then we go in and add additional ones. Say a Pinterest or whatever else we feel may be relevant based on the picture or the work source that we're in. So, Mark, honestly, when I got into social media, I didn't understand it. I didn't see the value. And now, as a president of a company, I probably spend 20 to 30% of my time in social media. Because now I understand the value and I see the results and the people that we're touching. You never know who's reading it. I got somebody that added me 2 years ago that called me. Hey, we've been watching your stuff. We're ready to do business with you now. We're convinced that we know what you're talking about. So just that outreach and, again, not promoting. How many companies out there are promoting on every single blog post or slandering or being negative? Nobody wants to deal with that company. They want to deal with somebody who's going to treat them right.
I agree with you there. Do you have any final words of wisdom about blogging and social media?
I guess my final word of wisdom would be never underestimate. Everyone in your organization is capable of being a participant in social media. Everyone is providing value on a different level based on their own expertise and their walks of life. We all end up together for some reason. Our Creator has put everyone in our path for a reason. And if my goal in life is to shine light into the world by providing ethical service to others and helping them to reach their full potential. So, a lot of people don't have a mission statement. Okay, and name me a company that doesn't, that's successful. So, my word of wisdom to everyone is to have a mission. For as a person, as a company, as a social media outlet, anything that you do in life, have a written mission that you can hold yourself accountable to and measure it.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate this interview, which I will be posting on, of course, my blog.